Dinosaurs walked the Earth over 65 million years ago in a landscape that would have looked very different to the world today. Just like the dinosaurs, many of the plants that grew in the Jurassic jungles are extinct today. However, there are some surprising varieties that are at the very least a very close relative of plants found in the fossil record. Although I use the term Jurassic Jungle, this video does include plants from all eras when dinosaurs walked the earth. At number 1 is the cycad. Although they may look like palm trees, cycads are a distinct group of plants which reproduce by forming cones. They're more closely related to conifers. Cycads first appeared around 280 million years ago and later established themselves as one of the most common plants in the world. It is believed that the dinosaurs would not have eaten their toxic leaves, but instead fed on their fruit, spreading the seeds in their excrement. Cycads almost disappeared with the dinosaurs, and thousands of cycad species are now extinct. Those that remain are in most cases endangered due to slow growth and slow reproduction. However, cycads do have long lifespans. The oldest cycads are thought to be around 1,000 years old, possibly more. They can survive many extreme conditions, growing in sand, cliffs, and even rock. At number 2 are restios. These are most closely related to grasses and sedges, although they predate them by a long time, and are thought to have evolved around 100 million years ago in the Cretaceous period. They were found growing on the supercontinent of Gondwana, which included the land of modern-day South America through to New Zealand, and started to break up during the Jurassic period. Our knowledge of this plant on prehistoric Earth comes from findings of fossilized pollen. Although not much more is known, restios would again have been an unlikely source of food for dinosaurs, as they are largely inedible, and only specialized insects feed on them today. Restio varieties are found in different environments, however, they prefer nutrient-poor acidic conditions. Most varieties are also adapted to survive fire, with the exception of Thamnocourtus spicigerus, in which fire not only kills the parent plant, but the seed as well. Restios are dioecious, which means that separate plants produce male and female flowers, which are pollinated by the wind. Number 3 is the Wollemi pine. Fossil records show the Wollemi pine was living alongside dinosaurs around 200 million years ago. In fact, they were only known from the fossil records and thought to be extinct until 1994, when a small group of living trees were discovered growing in the Wollemi National Park in New South Wales. In the time of the dinosaurs, the Wollemi pine would have covered the whole of Australia, but the plant is now considered critically endangered, most likely due to forest fires. In fact, in 2020, firefighters saved the last of the wild trees. However, conservation efforts have been made to grow trees worldwide in suitable climates, including the UK. The Wollemi pine is thought to live between 500 to 1,000 years, and is most closely related to the monkey puzzle tree. Male and female cones appear on the same tree, with female cones appearing on higher branches than the narrower male cones. Number 4 is the tree fern. Tree ferns have been around in fossil records stretching back to the Jurassic and Triassic periods more than 200 million years ago. They're thought to have existed on Earth before both cone-bearing and flower-bearing plants. In fact, tree ferns and their closest relatives provide much of the Earth's fossil fuel. Of course, tree ferns are not trees, as they do not have woody trunks, but their trunks are formed from roots. However, before tree ferns, there were plants known as seed ferns, which did have woody trunks and fern-like leaves, but produced seeds rather than spores. These are now extinct. Tree ferns would have been a likely source of food for dinosaurs, with the pith of Dicksonia varieties being a good source of starch. Tree ferns are very slow growing, with Dicksonia antarctica taking around 50 years to reach full size, but they can live for well over 100 years, with some species being known to live for over 500 years. At number 5 is the Ginkgo biloba. This is one of the oldest living tree species in the world. It is the sole survivor of a group of trees that predate the dinosaurs, with fossils of ginkgo leaves discovered that date back more than 200 million years and are almost identical to the leaves of the modern tree. In fact, the ginkgo tree is so unique today, it is the only one in its genus, family, order, and subclass. It's also the only living connection between ferns and conifers. Today, the ginkgo is registered as endangered. Although cultivated trees are grown around the world, they remain rare in the wild, with only a small number of natural populations in China. There is no evidence of ginkgo seeds in dinosaur droppings. However, it is believed that the strong smell of the seed would have attracted dinosaurs or prehistoric mammals to eat them in order to disperse them. At number 6 is the gunnera. Often nicknamed dinosaur food, the huge leaves of the gunnera add a very prehistoric feel to a garden. It is thought to date back to 150 million years ago, with fossilized gunnera pollen having been found dating back to 93 million years at least, and fossilized leaves dating to 80 million years ago. Like the restios, gunneras are thought to have evolved on the supercontinent Gondwana, thriving in the warm, boggy locations and becoming very widespread. As the supercontinent broke up, some areas where it had previously thrived became inhospitable to the gunnera and its numbers fell. There are several species of gunnera. However, if you're thinking of adding one to your UK Jurassic Jungle, you should be aware of the legislation that prevents the planting of Gunnera tinctoria or the newly named X cryptica, which was formerly thought to be Manicata in the UK. Number 7 is the monkey puzzle tree. Its true name is Araucaria araucana, and is thought to be the most ancient conifer on the planet. Despite its sharp leaflets, it's thought to have been one of the main sources of food for dinosaurs in the Jurassic period, around 150 million years ago, and may possibly be the reason for the evolution of the long necks of the sauropods. The monkey puzzle is a huge tree growing to around 30 meters tall. However, in the time of the dinosaurs, the fossil records show a close relative that otherwise looked almost identical would have grown to an estimated 2 to 4 times bigger. Monkey puzzle trees are normally either male or female, although there are trees that have produced both male and female cones. They are slow growing, but they can live for around 1,000 years. At number 8 is the Podocarpus. This tree is actually a conifer and can basically be seen as an evolution of leaves. Growing in the wet tropical forests of the supercontinent Gondwana, these leaves would have likely helped the Podocarpus to adapt. However, less is known about their taxonomy than any other large conifer genus. The earliest reliable occurrence of Podocarpaceae is from the Jurassic era, with scale-like leaves, but the genus is likely to have diversified, resembling modern varieties in the late Cretaceous. Podocarpus dioecious evergreen shrubs, although, as with the monkey puzzle, it has been known to produce male and female cones. They generally live for around 150 years, although some varieties lived up to at least 700 years. At number 9 is the magnolia. Amongst the first flowering plants to evolve, the magnolia tree is around 90 million years old, dating to the late Cretaceous period. As this predates the evolution of bees, the magnolia relied on beetles to pollinate the flowers, developing tough leathery petals to protect the flowers from damage. As the beetles fed on the pollen, the flowers do not produce nectar, and flower before many insects appear in spring. Therefore, they seldom set seed. Magnolia used to be prevalent in Europe before the Ice Age restricted it to Southeast Asia and southern North America. Although there are many planted ornamentals, there are no native wild magnolias in Europe. The closest relative of the magnolia is Liriodendron, or the tulip tree. Unfortunately, very little is known about the evolution of flowers, largely as their delicate structures do not fossilize easily. Finally, at number 10 are ferns. I have kept this separate from tree ferns and saved the best for last because ferns were one of the first big plants to live on land around 350 million years ago, helping to make oxygen and therefore preparing the earth for other life to begin. Ferns are usually identified by their large frond-like leaves that carry reproductive spore-producing organs called sporangia. Of course, early ferns were a little different from the ones we know today, and it wasn't until the Cretaceous period that many of our modern fern families started to appear, with the exception of the Osmondaceae family, which has been dated to the Jurassic era. There are an estimated 12,000 species of ferns. However, they are believed to have been much more abundant on prehistoric Earth, with an estimate that there are 9 species in the fossil record for every 1 species living today. This is not an exhaustive list, and in some cases there's still a lot of uncertainty regarding just how old many plants are and just how genetically similar their modern counterparts might be. I have tried to focus on plants where at least some varieties can grow outdoors in a UK climate, especially in the milder areas. Other plants dating to around this time include horsetails, which are actually most closely related to ferns, the Piper nigrum, or the black pepper, and the protea, which are amongst the first flowering plants. Conifers were also abundant. However, if you are looking to create a landscape that time forgot, I hope I've been able to give you some ideas. If you're enjoying the content of Freya's Tropical Garden, then please help this channel grow by subscribing. Every new subscriber is appreciated, and by turning on notifications to my videos, you can also make sure that you don't miss any episodes in future. You can also follow me on social media, where I'll release links to my latest videos, as well as share my flower of the day. You can follow me on X, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, or join my Facebook group to engage in discussions and share your own photos. Freya's Tropical Garden webpage also has links to my videos and helpful advice. And now, in order to support the continued growth of this channel, there is an option of becoming a member, which will give you access to a private Facebook group where I'll be running monthly competitions exclusively for members, as well as additional exclusive content. And as always, I welcome your feedback in the comments below.